The passing of Joni Lamb marked the end of an important chapter in Christian broadcasting, leaving millions of viewers reflecting on her decades-long ministry through Daystar television network. As family members, ministry leaders, longtime friends, and supporters gathered to honor her life, the atmosphere surrounding her homegoing service was described as emotional, dignified, and deeply centered on faith. Outside the venue, attention quickly grew as guests, church leaders, and well-known figures from Christian media arrived throughout the day. Videos shared online showed an organized arrival procession, with black SUVs, luxury sedans, and escorted vehicles pulling into the memorial location as attendees came together to pay their respects. While online discussions focused heavily on the visible arrivals and large-scale organization surrounding the service, those close to the family emphasized that the true focus of the gathering remained spiritual remembrance rather than public attention. For decades, Joni Lamb had been one of the most recognizable voices in Christian television. Alongside her late husband Marcus Lamb, she helped transform Daystar into one of the largest Christian broadcasting networks in the world. Together, they built a platform that reached millions of viewers globally through worship programming, testimonies, interviews, and ministry outreach. Following Marcus Lamb's death in 2021, Joni became an even more visible leader within the organization. She continued hosting programs, overseeing network operations, and maintaining a strong public presence during a period of major transition for the ministry. That long legacy is why her passing created such a powerful emotional reaction among supporters. According to attendees, the homegoing service was carefully planned to reflect both celebration and reflection. Floral arrangements reportedly filled the venue entrance, while soft worship music played as guests arrived. Rather than a formal celebrity-style atmosphere, many described the event as spiritually focused despite the public attention surrounding it. Inside the gathering, speakers reflected on Joni's impact not only as a broadcaster, but also as someone who dedicated much of her life to encouraging viewers through difficult seasons. Family members and ministry colleagues shared stories about her personal faith, leadership style, and determination during challenging periods of her life. Several tributes referenced the years following Marcus Lamb's passing, describing how she continued leading Daystar while carrying personal grief privately. One recurring theme throughout the service was perseverance. Those closest to Joni described her as someone who remained committed to ministry work regardless of criticism, controversy, or personal hardship. Friends said she believed strongly in continuing forward through faith even during emotionally painful moments. The service reportedly included worship performances, scripture readings, and emotional video tributes highlighting different phases of her life and ministry career. Old photographs, television clips, and family memories were shown as attendees reflected on her decades in Christian broadcasting. Online viewers who followed updates from outside the memorial location noted the large turnout and organized arrival processions. Luxury vehicles transporting guests became a major talking point across social media, with some supporters interpreting it as evidence of how influential Joni had become within faith-based media circles. However, ministry supporters pushed back against attempts to sensationalize the event, arguing that the focus should remain on honoring her life rather than public fascination with appearances or status. Many attendees also pointed out that large memorial gatherings involving prominent public figures often require coordinated transportation, security, and logistical planning due to the number of invited guests and media attention. Throughout the day, tributes continued pouring in online from pastors, television personalities, musicians, and viewers who grew up watching Daystar programming. Several supporters shared memories of how Joni's broadcasts helped them through grief, illness, divorce, financial hardship, and spiritual struggles. Others described her television presence as comforting during difficult periods of their lives. That emotional connection between broadcaster and audience became one of the defining themes of the memorial itself. For millions of viewers, Joni Lamb represented more than a television executive. She became a familiar face associated with prayer, encouragement, and conversations about faith during moments of uncertainty. Her influence extended far beyond studio broadcasts. Over the years, she also became involved in ministry conferences, outreach events, and discussions about family, healing, and Christian leadership. Those areas of ministry were repeatedly highlighted by speakers during the service. Her son, Jonathan Lamb, was also mentioned throughout the gathering as part of the continuing family connection to Daystar television network. Supporters acknowledged the emotional weight carried by the family as they navigated another major loss after already enduring Marcus Lamb's death several years earlier. As the service continued, the atmosphere reportedly shifted from sorrow toward gratitude. Many speakers focused not on mourning alone, but on celebrating the influence Joni had across decades of ministry work. Emotional applause reportedly followed several tribute speeches, especially when discussing lives changed through Daystar programming. Outside the venue, fans and supporters gathered quietly, some holding flowers and others simply hopping to pay respect from a distance. Videos circulating online showed emotional reactions from attendees leaving the service, many visibly moved after hearing personal stories shared throughout the memorial. At the same time, supporters repeatedly urged people online to avoid turning the Homegoing service into spectacle or internet gossip. They emphasized that while public interest surrounding Joni's passing was understandable due to her influence, the family deserved privacy and dignity during mourning. That message became especially important as clips from the arrival procession spread rapidly online. Despite the social media attention, those closest to the ministry said the service ultimately reflected what Joni valued most throughout her life: faith, family, worship, and perseverance. For longtime viewers, the emotional significance of the Homegoing service extended beyond the event itself. It represented the closing of a major era in Christian broadcasting history, one connected to both Marcus and Joni Lamb's decades-long presence on television screens around the world. As tributes continue appearing across social media and Christian broadcasting communities, many supporters say they will remember Joni not for headlines or controversy, but for the encouragement she offered during difficult seasons of life. And while public fascination may continue surrounding the scale and visibility of the memorial gathering, those who attended say the true heart of the service remained much simpler. A farewell centered on faith, remembrance, and gratitude for a life that impacted millions through ministry and media.